As you can see, I'm repping that BMT. No matter where I go, no matter where I be.
Representing for my brother BMT.
Got my man Austin in the building. What up, bro?
What's good?
Travel is life.
This how we roll. Look, I just have to get off the elevator. Look at it. The BMT shirt on. You know, we representing all the way in Thailand, man.
This shirt is so dope, man. It shows up your guns, fits your muscles, gives you room at the bottom for the belly, and then you repping the BMT brand, man. So make sure y'all pick up that BMT shirt because it's fire. It looks good. He got them in different colors, and I'm telling y'all, man, the fit, it ain't that cheap bullshit. It's a real quality shirt, man. I love it, BMT. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for blessing me with the shirt, and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, go cop the new merch.
All right, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. This is somewhat of a double header. I just did a live a couple of hours ago. But we got a really good show for you guys today. The subject at hand, we're going to jump right into it. I want to welcome my guy he's been rocking with me for a long time when I had maybe 30 subscribers.
Yes.
Shout out to my dude.
Yes.
His name now is QB Passport Flexion. What's good with you, bro?
What's good, fam? How are you doing?
Doing great. So the subject at hand today is, should the Passport Bros make a not a U-turn, but what's that? A right or a down south, or and head to Mexico more so than the beautiful country of Colombia. What's good today, brother?
Good, man. Happy to elaborate and give you guys information regarding Mexico. The media portrays Mexico in a certain way, in a negative light, compared to actual YouTubers that are giving you guys good content and telling you how wonderful Mexico is. Yet, a lot of people have a biased opinion and view of Mexico, so it deters them from visiting the country compared to going somewhere else.
Okay, and how many times have you been to Mexico?
Yeah. So, on average, I pretty much go to Mex about twice a month. I'm not too far from the border, roughly around 3 hours. Eventually, most likely within a year or two, I will have an actual place in Mexico, most likely in the Baja area, which is Tijuana, Rosarito. But no issues with Border Patrol, immigration down there in Mexico, the local people, including the police as well in Mexico.
Okay. And I know it's Mexico always has, some news, that's going on with let's just say, the violence and everything out there. Do you feel like it's safer than Colombia though?
Absolutely. On average, about 66 million people visit Mexico a year. Okay. You may hear one or two stories once every 3 months regarding an American having a misfortune in Mexico. The latest was the people going down to Matamoros, which is not a place you want to visit in Mexico for any reason, but they never give you the full story. So you'll hear something in the media outlet. This person got kidnapped. This person maybe got deleted. This person was harmed, but you don't hear the full story and details in regards to what actually happened.
Okay, can you give us a quick rundown of what happened, the last situation in that city?
Sure. So there was a lady from North Carolina, South Carolina. She went down to Matamoros, which is on the Texas side. Last time I was on BMT stream in regards to safety in Mexico, I list that majority of the Texas border towns do not visit. Those are no-go zones for whatever you guys want to experience in Mexico. Like, I do not recommend you going to those towns. So she went there for quote unquote cosmetics, okay, and they had a run-in with the sea crew. Starts with the car, and then end with she told a story. I just want to be cautious of the words that I say on YouTube.
Right, I appreciate that.
Right, and unfortunately, there were 2 people that were deleted. It was 5 people total, and she got kidnapped. But the stories are very convoluted. There was a rumor that they were actually in Matamoros for 2.5 hours before they had the appointment. They also stopped at a pharmacy, and supposedly somebody stole an item out of the pharmacy. And instead of calling the police, they called the sea crew, and that's what you kind of see now. Again, that information is alleged, but they were in Mexico for 2.5 hours running around Matamoros before they actually got caught up in the situation.
Okay, do you think that possibility they might have been lost, though?
Matamoros is not a big town, so when you cross in, I believe the doctor's office was within 2 to maybe 2.5 miles within the city. So you're gonna have directions to get there immediately. Like, for example, when I had my hair transplant in Tijuana, I knew exactly where the doctor was. I had the address.
Hold on, bro. You had a hair transplant? You just can't.
Yeah.
Glide over that real quick.
All right, my bad. Yeah, I did.
You didn't want to be bald head gang? What happened, bro? You got I gotta put you on the spot. You gotta do the reveal. You gotta take the hat off, bro.
Right. A little bit. It's coming in. It's coming in. Okay. It's coming in. 60 days. But yeah, some guys can rock it. I don't know. It's just not my luck,
Was it painful?
Yes. From 1 through 10, it's about a 7. I'm not BSing. Wow. The surgery, not to go off on a tangent, but we can talk about this.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
It was about 8 hours. And like my forehead was numb for about 2 days, but after those initial 48 hours, I was okay. Yeah.
Okay. Was it super expensive?
No, it was.
You know what? I'm gonna rock the ball just to represent bald head game on y'all today.
Okay. Bald head. Right. So it was about $3,000. I also had another friend. He's he's a brother that travels. He got it done before me, and it was something that I was willing to do, but I just been lazy about it. And he got it done as well. Same doctor. I have all that information. So if you guys want to contact me directly via Instagram, email, I can give you all that information if anyone's interested in a hair transplant.
And it only costs $3,000?
$3,000. And they have specials where they'll put you in a hotel room, they'll pick you up from the border and bring you into the office. You have to do like a blood sample, and then after that they get going with the actual surgery.
Okay, but they don't want to see BMT out here on these streets, boy. I get the whole little Jerry curl on y'all ass. You just don't know. When the young boy be having the dreads or the whatever they be having nowadays, the little rapper things. I'm telling you, but I wouldn't tell nobody had the surgery either. I'll just be like, just grow it out. Boom.
Right. So, but kind of going back to the story about the lady in South Carolina, Matamoros is not known for any tummy tuck, BBL. When women get cosmetic surgery done in Mexico, it's Tijuana, Cancun, Guadalajara, Monterrey, Mexico City. Those are pretty much, maybe Cabo San Lucas. Those are pretty much the areas where you get your cosmetic surgery done, not Matamoros or anywhere else in Mexico.
Mm. Okay. All right. And what's like the let's just say if for a first timer, because I've never been to Mexico.
Right.
What would you suggest?
Well, it all depends what you guys want to do. However, Mexico has everything from beautiful beaches, great nightlife, museums, excursions, endless destinations for recreational activity. But for a first timer, I would probably recommend Baja California, so Tijuana, Rosarito area. Papas and Beer is great right now. Spring break, lots of beautiful women, endless partying, and no drama for the most part.
Okay. Hey, they getting on me on the ball head jokes right now. QB.
No, you good, man. He's rocking it like MJ, Stephon Marbury.
Trust me, bro. I don't care. I've been bald for so long now.
Right.
I've been looking like I got the waves. All right, but yeah, somebody did mention say go to Mexico just to avoid the border towns. But when you say it's the border towns, you have to go through them, though, right?
Yes and no. So, like for example, the safest border towns, which I mentioned in the last stream, is pretty much Tijuana, Mexicali, and I'll probably throw in Nogales, which is the Arizona border. But you do not need to go through the border towns to get to a certain destination. Now, if you live in Texas, for example, and we can probably bring this up on a map if the chat requests.
Okay.
You can literally, because people have asked me during consultations, like, hey, I'm trying to go to Monterrey, but I don't want to cross through Nuevo Laredo. There's another bypass to not even cross that city because it is very dangerous, which is the Laredo, Texas border area. And you can drive to Monterrey safely. And Monterrey is very beautiful. They have a river walk like San Antonio. It's between mountains. San Pedro Garza is one of the richest areas in Latin America. So safety is definitely not an issue over there.
Okay. Shout out to the Black Cleaner Restorer with a 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, was in Tulum for my B-Day. What's up with leasing? I'm looking for a PDC or Tulum for 6 months. What is PDC?
Playa del Carmen. So
okay. Yeah, we did a video about that like a while ago, way back in the day.
Yeah. I think it's like one of my first videos. So absolutely, if you're able to work remote and you can live in Playa del Carmen, that is a great spot. Very active. With Playa del Carmen, you have more access to the beach compared to Cancun, and everything is in walkable distance in Playa del Carmen. So lots of advantages there in that area.
Okay. Now somebody said I got a little sidetrack with the ball jokes. He said, "What do you feel like really happened in Matamoros?" Shout out to Frobe the GOAT.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to judge them by their character. I mean, well, not by their character, but by their appearance. They don't look like they were traveling just for that. Okay. And what I mean for that, for the cosmetic surgery, they were, in my opinion, speculation here, I think they were there to participate in other things, which we really can't say on YouTube. And they got caught up in a situation. And unfortunately, 2 people were removed. So that's my opinion in regards to that situation. Again, Matamoros is not a town to visit for nothing. Nothing. I don't care if you meet a girl on Tinder, Bumble, she's from Matamoros. That's not the town.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to the Art of Will. He said, "Stay away from what's that? Zona Este, Zona Esta.
Yeah.
You'll thank me
Yeah.
later."
Okay. I don't know where that is, Art. If you can, I'm assuming maybe Tijuana. If you can reference, it doesn't have to be a super chat, but just let us know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
So
have you been to Colombia?
yes, I have. I've been to Medellin.
Mm-hmm.
I had the best time of my life there. I stayed at the Energy Building.
Facts.
I
Okay.
have clips. I have clips of that. So maybe one day when I revisit Medellin, I might upload all that information. And I've never had an issue, but I was with a friend that spoke Spanish and he was Latino as well. So
Mm-hmm.
he already kind of knew the logistics of Medellin. And I was just pretty much trailing him the whole time.
Okay. Now, did you feel safer? You feel safe, or do you feel safer in Mexico than in Colombia?
Yeah, see, when I went to Medellin, that was 2019. So that
Mm-hmm.
was before all the riffraff that's happening now. But
Okay.
in that area in Parqueadas, I did feel safe. Now, granted, I went to the Domino's Pizza across the street like every day because I didn't really feel the food was that great. But when I went out at night, I felt safe. Um, security was great. I remember falling asleep, leaving the door open. Security comes up, they shut the door, they locked it, they made sure everyone was okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Yeah,
what are in Colombia they got a lot of little scams and stuff. Are there some
right.
common scams you can warn the guys about
Yes,
in Mexico?
yes. So it does help that you guys speak Spanish in Mexico. A little bit even goes a long way, but I
Mm-hmm.
can give a couple examples. Number one, do not take a taxi. Okay, if you guys cross the border and you want to go to a particular zone in Tijuana, which everyone knows, and will be not as transparent here, but you guys can put two and two together. They will charge you double and triple the amount. So you can get an Uber, you can get a Didi, and you don't have to worry about fare on the taxi. Also, another thing about Mexico is that tip is not mandatory. So because you're an American and you may go to a town like Cabo, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, and then they'll include the tip. Tip is 10%. So what I do is, hey, let me get the check. I look at the menu, make sure you look at the menu to see how much whatever you order, you compare it with the check, and you'll say, hey, I will tip in cash. So efectivo, propina efectivo. And so
Mm-hmm.
when they
Opinion.
understand that, they kind of don't, they're like, oh, wow, he's going to tip me in cash instead. So, you know, we're good. And they prefer to have their tips in cash, by the way.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. I want to give a shout out to Richard S. Dot with the Canadian dollar with the $5.50. I really appreciate that. I got him again right here with the $11 super chat. He says, other than that, it was a good each time. One time at the airport, an attendant wanted me to miss my flight. Another racist incident. Anyways, each time I'm in CDMX, I guess that's the airport code. I
Yeah.
average about
So
4 to 6 chicks.
yes, so that's Mexico City. So that's abbreviation for Mexico City. So CDMX is Mexico City. Ciudad de Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
Um, awesome, bro. Awesome. Another scam that's really big in Mexico is the car rentals. It's almost impossible, but
Mm-hmm.
they make you get a third party insurance and you can book an actual rental online with the insurance included, but they try to upsell you and say that it's mandatory. Decline it every single time.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there was a girl in Veracruz and she kind of liked me. Like she hooked it up.
Mm-hmm.
She was all like, we're supposed to charge you this insurance, but uh, my boss would be kind of mad at me if I don't, but I understood the rules and I said, look, I'm going to decline the rental. And they're like, okay. So when you do that, they're going to want more on a deposit. And sometimes the deposit, man, they may want like $2,000 and you're only written it for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. I want to give a shout out to Richard S. I think I missed this one with a $5.50 super chat. He says, I used to go to Mexico City every 3 months. A couple of times had to pay off the police. Twice people didn't want to enter the same elevator as me.
Right. So I'm happy to talk about the police in Mexico.
Okay.
So I think that's the more severe caution that you need to understand in Mexico and visiting Mexico. Yes, there are corrupt police. There are corrupt police in the United States. There are corrupt police in other countries. But in Mexico, they will try to intimidate you. So it's very important you know the laws, you know your rights. So prime example, I can give this one story, and I got to be kind of discreet for YouTube purposes. But if you're in a particular zone in Tijuana, you'll have random people come up to you and talk to you in English saying, hey, man, how are you doing? Where are you from? And, you know, people are on a friendly vibe, and you start talking to them for like literally 5 minutes, because this happened to a good friend of mine. And then the cops roll up and say, oh, this person has some illicit things in his belonging that's illegal. We got to take you in. And so with you not knowing and you're scared, they're going to want to bribe. The police are going to want to bribe. And unfortunately, he had to pay them $300. Now, if they try to do that on me, because I already know the laws down there, it is a nightmare for them to take you to court, because you go to court that same night, to take you in and take you to court and give you a citation. Now, granted, if you didn't do anything, because they have body cams in Mexico.
Okay, interesting.
You can argue with the judge, and you literally will tell the police, look, take me in, judge. We're going to roll the body cam. I have your police badge information. And you can literally go to the embassy with that information, and that police officer can be liable. But when you tell them this, or if you say, hey, I want to see your police chief, somebody that speaks English to translate, it's too much work for them. And so they'll leave you alone in a situation like that. Now, I did have an...
Is that wise to do? I mean, should you just go ahead and would it be safer just to go ahead and pay him and not have to go through all that?
Well, in that situation, if you know and you don't let them intimidate you, there's cameras everywhere, so that they can't do any physical harm to you because they're being watched. So in a situation like that, it is safe. Now, I will be honest, there was a situation where I did have to give a police officer money, and I'll explain that just in a second. But if you're in a public area in a certain zone, like how I mentioned, and you're not in the wrong, you need to challenge the police officer. And in that situation, if you would have known what to do and told him that, hey, I didn't do anything, I don't know who this is, you guys leave me alone, but if you want to take me in, then yes, I'll be happy to see a judge that night. And they'll let you go literally that day. Because it happened to a friend that I know that lives in Tijuana as well.
Okay.
So really quick, the situation where I had to pay the police, okay, and QB was totally in the wrong. I was in the back of an Uber and on the way to Papa's and Beer. And literally, man, the cop was at the right place at the right time. So I had the Uber driver stop at OXXO. OXXO is the same thing as the 7-Eleven, AM, PM, or basically a name brand franchise liquor store. Okay. And I got some seltzers, and so I was drinking in the back seat, and we were at a light. The window was rolled down. The cop was right there in a motorcycle, like right next to me. So he heard the seltzer open, saw me take a sip, and then immediately pull the Uber over. I didn't see him. Like,
that's alcohol?
Yes. Yeah. So You never drank a seltzer before?
No.
Okay, so it's basically alcohol sparkling water. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of going to the actual jail and filling out paperwork and doing the
Mhm.
citation, I ended up giving them $40. I think it was like 800 pesos because
Mhm.
that would have took out time. Like I wanted to get there to Rosarito and party, have a good time, and not have to worry about getting a citation or whatever. So he let me go. There were no issue with the Uber driver, but that's just something you have to be self aware at all times.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to the Art of Will once again with $99 and super chat. Man, I appreciate that. He says, I think Floyd just found a new gig. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Art of Will. But shout out to Richard S. Once again with a super chat, 2020 I really appreciate that. He says, you didn't address the low key racism. Let's talk about that.
Sure, absolutely. So for the most part, for me in Mexico, I haven't really experienced a lot of racism. I kind of experienced more racism here in the United States,
Mm.
particularly the border towns, because I went to college in Laredo, Texas.
Okay.
But um, I've, there may be racism in Mexico City, Guadalajara, because it is white passing in those communities.
Okay.
Maybe if he can give an actual specific situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, from my experience in Mexico as well as other friends, racism really hasn't been an issue so much.
Okay.
And I'm talking in regards to service, meeting people, the women. Like it's there, but I just haven't experienced it as much as compared to the United States.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you see a lot of interracial dating out there, or?
Um, yeah, for the most part,
Okay.
Mexican women are very open to brothers. Uh,
Okay.
I just think brothers need to have a certain expectation in terms of what they're able to attract.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
if you go to Mexico and you want to date the local women, there's lots of opportunities in all places in Mexico.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What we got here? Oh, yes. 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 So this is the main that I've been dating for what, roughly over 3 years.
Now
I met her in
you know passport bros. You know you gotta show receipts.
Oh yeah, always, always, always. Yeah, I met her in Guadalajara. We've been dating steady for almost July would be 3 years.
Mm.
Uh, Very cool, good attitude. Met her family. Met the mom. The mom looks pretty good for her age. Um, so yeah, I will be showing. I went to Guadalajara recently.
Mm.
Maybe we can pull up a couple of highlights, during the show.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make a whole stream about Guadalajara. Plus, I'm gonna add a link to that stream when we did an interview a while back, and I was showing about Guadalajara. But that is a great place to date local Mexican women. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
advantage is there. I would say about 1 out of every 4 women in Guadalajara speak English.
Okay.
If you like the women in Medellin, Colombia, you will like the women in Guadalajara. Very similar, very very similar, and the vibes are too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, and in the thumbnail, people thought this might have been Photoshop, so I had to give you your receipt right there.
Right. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah. No pump faking here. Mm-mm. So I would say my dating experience is a lot better in Mexico because they appreciate a guy that has a lot of value. So it's never been an issue with me going on a trip with my girl or just me seeing her in Cancun because that's where she lives with the mom and just hanging out over there, family barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for the birthday. So the culture is very welcoming among Americans, including black men.
Okay. Let me boot this troll
Yes,
out of here
sir.
real quick. I gotta get some mods in here.
Oh,
But
yeah,
shout out
man.
Art of Will for catching that. He says, "Can somebody boot this guy out?" We got him out of there. All right, we
Okay.
got Coca-Cola underscore TV with the follow super chat. I appreciate that. Just, do you know any bars, clubs that play reggaeton music?
Yes. I wish you can reference a city, but everywhere in Mexico plays reggaeton. So Puerto Vallarta, Tijuana, Cancun, Monterrey, uh, Mexicali, Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mazatlan, they all play reggaeton. I think the question is, where do they play hip hop? Because I'll be honest, they don't play a lot of hip hop. It's gonna be house, reggaeton, maybe top 40s, and a little bit of hip hop. Yeah, that was in Colombia player. That was the Medellin photo right there.
Oh yeah, I
But
ain't went. Hold up, I ain't went. Hold on. Oh shit, I got the wrong thing on the screen.
okay,
Oh
no, it's
shit,
all good. It's all good.
got all my little business out
Uh,
there.
yeah, but they don't play a lot of hip hop. Now there are hip hop clubs in Cancun, but I ain't gonna lie, man, it's kind of like the Ratchet Club. You're gonna be like, man, I should have stayed home instead of going to this place. So they do have it, but if you're into if you don't mind hearing other genres of music, you'll be fine in Mexico.
Okay, I got a comment here by Jay Supreme. He says, "I'm Afro Latina in California, Afro Latino in
Mhm.
California. I can personally tell you that Mexicans and most Latin country women love black men."
Yes, yes. Now let me bring some
Really? Okay.
education to you guys. So for example, there are a lot of black men, they be like, yeah, Mexican women are cool, but they're not melanated. And I totally
Mm-hmm.
understand. Like, I'll be honest, they're not, majority of them are not. But if you still want to sample some melanated women, Veracruz will most likely be the place. I had a cool Morena out there that I met. My boy went out there with me, Veracruz, Mexico. Another place is Oaxaca. I haven't been, but then you also have Acapulco as well. But I can definitely co-sign for Veracruz and the more brown skin Latina compared to the counterpart of the Spanish Eurocentric type phenotype of women in Mexico.
Okay. Okay. And what's like the little dress code out there? Do you kind of have to rock, pants,
Oh,
shorts?
yes, there is a dress code. So no hats, none of these gorras, no hats. I
Mm-hmm.
can't even wear this cowboy hat in the club, bro. Like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, yes, yeah, yeah,
Is that what
yeah,
you be rocking
yeah.
out there?
I was rocking that out there, man. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie. I had so many looks in the airport wearing the cowboy hat. Like, they were loving it. It was, I mean, you just don't see a tall black dude wearing a cowboy hat in Mexico. Like, it's just foreign to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally semi celebrity status wearing that cowboy hat. But you have to pretty much dress very trendy. So definitely no jerseys unless you go to a pool party, and they might even be strict on that.
Mm-hmm.
No baggy clothes. Uh, I think they might also say tucking your chain as well. So, and then definitely no Jordans. They don't allow Jordans, and also no polos as well. So I had a situation where what was that, last year? Yeah, last year there was a guy that wanted to he went to Guadalajara, and we went
Mm-hmm.
to Strana, and they didn't let him in the club because he had on a polo and he wanted to show off his muscles. But I told him, like, hey, you're gonna have to wear a collar shirt or something trendy. if you want to get into the establishment. So they are strict on dress code out there.
So you see my man want to show off his muscles.
Yeah, he wanted to show off. He wanted to flex, and I mean you can, but just not in a polo, unfortunately. So
okay. Now somebody I saw in the chat, he said, "What are the safest towns out there?"
So if you want to be extremely safe, okay, I can make an argument that pretty much all the towns that I visited are very, very safe. But Merida, Mexico is the safest place in Mexico. And that's about 4 hours north of Cancun. I actually did a long video on Merida. If you guys are from California and you visited Pasadena, Merida and Pasadena are very, very similar.
Okay.
Historical downtown area. They have the horse carriage that will give you a tour around the city. Decent nightlife. And then Progreso, which is the beach, is literally 25 minutes away. I rented a car. Like my girl knew somebody, and the battery had died. The police helped us. They jump started the car. They helped us out. I saw a huge presence of police like everywhere. So Merida is the safest town in Mexico. Another safe place that I really, really feel safe is Mexicali. That's 2 hours east of Tijuana. Another border town. Mexicali is very similar to Phoenix, Arizona. Great nightlife, safe. A lot of people speak English. So Mexicali, the only bad part about Mexicali is it gets very intense heat in the summer, dry heat specifically. So be cautious regarding the heat there. Like literally, if you try to walk to your hotel to a certain destination, if you're not hydrated, you are literally going to sweat intensely. So just be careful regarding the heat in Mexicali.
You know, it's funny because it's about like 190 to 100 degrees out here right now in Thailand. It's like the hot season.
Oh, okay.
So it's very hot. But do you want to break down this article right here that you had shared?
Yes, absolutely. So this is howsafeismexico.com. And if you look at the homicide rate, New Orleans has the highest. Okay. That's actually higher now with 49. New Orleans is 52 per 100,000 residents. Okay. And I believe they had over 280 people deleted in 2022. And if you look at, yes, crazy. And if you look at Mexico as a whole, it is 14. So New Orleans is almost 4 times the homicide rate compared to Mexico as a whole entire country. So when you guys are saying that Mexico is not safe, we look at stats, the media is not going to tell you that. And people, for example, they will go to New Orleans and they will go to Mardi Gras. They will go to Bourbon Street. They'll party. They'll eat the food. And when I travel, as well as other YouTube content creators travel throughout Mexico, we're going to the tourist areas. We're going to the nice places. We're not going to the barrios, the hoods, where it's very, very unsafe. So again, the media is always going to be biased and basically deter you not to come to Mexico. But if you do your research and you look at the stats, you're going to say, wow, this is crazy. And one can make the argument that it's more dangerous here in the United States than it is in Mexico. And if you use common sense, you're going to avoid a lot of situations, a lot.
Okay, so let me ask you this real quick.
Sure.
Because when people do kind of make that stat and they say, well, America is a little bit more dangerous. Do they actually target tourists in any of the cities in Mexico?
Great question. if you're a tourist and you are basically doing tourist activities, so excursions, visiting landmarks, partying, nightclub, and you're not doing any illicit activities, you're not going to be targeted. When American tourists are in bad situations, most likely they're involved in something else that is really not tourist related. So you just being an actual tourist in Mexico, I feel that you don't have to worry about your safety as much as a place like Colombia. So if I go somewhere and I have a drink at a bar, I don't have to worry about the scope being an issue in my drink.
I was going to ask you about that. Are they any, like druggings out there or anything like that?
Yes. So in Mexico, for the most part, the locals, the women, uh, I really have not heard of any situations in regards to druggings. So if you're a guy that is, hey, I'm interested in meeting a girl online, do I have to worry about the situation? Now, I'll be honest, when I went to Veracruz, when was this? November. I met the girl prior in February, so it was the second time that I was seeing her. Her and her friends spent the night at my place after going out. The homie did his thing, I did my thing with that girl. There wasn't so much of a, oh my gosh, like they might do something to us, because they have security. Plus, she's educated. Her dad's a lawyer. The brother lives in Chicago. So my safety mechanisms wasn't like really, really high as if I was to go somewhere to like Colombia, which I probably wouldn't have had somebody to spend a night with me, even though I'm meeting them for the second time. And this girl is, a local woman. So, yeah, that's something that's not so much an occurrence in Mexico.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to the Black Cleaner and Restorer with the 5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Excuse me. He says, there is a Black in Tulum group. They play hip hop. Shout out to Mystical Lounge Tulum. I think that's Black House Entertainment. Are you familiar with Tulum or anything like that?
Tulum, I have not visited yet. That's one area that I have not visited. Again, Mexico's almost the size of Europe, so there's a lot of states, a lot of different cities. I will make my way to Tulum, but I hear a lot of good things about that place.
Okay. Excellent.
So there's a lot of cities in Colombia that are very similar to Mexico. Cartagena is similar to Cancun. Medellin would be similar to Guadalajara. Barranquilla would be like Veracruz. Bogota is very similar to Mexico City. Now, I've only been to Medellin, but other friends in the travel community that I associate with, they've been to these destinations in Mexico and Colombia.
Okay. And let's talk about the exchange rate. Is it a pretty good exchange rate down there? Because they use the peso, right?
Yeah, so right now it's 17-1. It's really low. I got to do a little bit of my research. But if you want the best exchange rate, you need to go to the actual bank. I have a Chase card, so I get the highest exchange rate at the bank compared to going to a kiosk in Tijuana or any other border town to exchange for money, for pesos.
Okay. And what's the average cost you would say? Because we don't want no J Rellos going out there. So what's like the average cost of, let's say, 7-day trip out there? What type of budget should you have to, enjoy yourself,
Yes.
go to bars and clubs, go on a couple of
Yes.
dates?
Yes. Yes. So for 7 days, you want to stay at like medium scale accommodations. I would say for 7 days on a moderate budget, you can do maybe about $1,200 for 7 days. 1200
Okay.
$1,200.
Okay.
So that's going to cover your dates. You know, uh, I'm going to add a couple of excursions in there as well. Um, and maybe one night that you want to get bottle service at a club, that's also included within that 1200.
Okay. And let's say you got guys that might be interested. I'm getting the trolls out.
Yeah,
Uh
no worries.
Interested in like maybe expatting in Mexico, like maybe
Mm-hmm.
living out there.
Yes,
Would be like a monthly budget for them to, have a comfortable
right.
living?
So monthly budget as an expat, depending where you're at, but most expats are in like Cancun, Playa del Carmen.
Okay.
So on a monthly budget to live moderate, I would say about 3,000 over there. Now,
Okay.
if you're saying, look, QB, I don't need to be in the beach, I don't need to be around a lot of tourists. Now, if you want to do it in Mexico City, I would say a monthly decent budget to live there about 2,000 in Mexico City.
Okay.
And you'll be able to fly to Cancun any given weekend. Round trip from Mexico City, probably less than $50.
Oh, to fly within the country, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do they
Mm-hmm.
have like far as transportation, do they Uber and all that over there?
They have Uber, they have Didi. They also have
Okay.
another transportation called like Block Car or something like that. So, and then the bus system is amazing in Mexico. So they have frequent buses leaving throughout, connecting cities on an hour
Mhm.
basis, and luxury buses as well in Mexico.
Okay. Let's talk about the food.
Oof.
How is
Yes.
the food in Mexico? And I know a lot of us in America, of course, are familiar
Right.
with Mexican food, but
Right. Right. Uh, I would give Mexican food like 10 out of 10.
10
Okay.
out of 10. Wow.
Yes. Not only they can make their own food, they can
Mhm.
make American food. They can make great burgers. I don't eat red meat anymore, but I had a few burgers in Mexico. Uh, it's less processed compared to the States.
Okay.
It's natural out there. Uh, Nuevo Leon, which is the Monterrey state, they're known for the best beef throughout Mexico. And they have
Hmm.
plenty of steakhouses out there that are just mind blowing. Seafood, Mazatlan, which is the shrimp capital of the world.
Okay.
Bro, I literally had seafood tacos that were falling out the taco. When I get
Mm.
seafood tacos here in the States, I'm getting like three and a half shrimps, bro. Nothing
Okay.
but lettuce, cheese. And it's like, wow, I'm paying $7 for this shrimp taco here in the States when Mazatlan, you literally can get a vendor strip taco for maybe $1.50 and they pack it in with the shrimp. So
Okay.
that is great. And then recently I went to Mexicali. They're getting better at making soul food. So fried chicken and waffles, like I'm not playing, bro. I am not playing. They're picking
Okay.
up that in their culinary menu. And I'm like, God damn, this is good.
Okay.
Is there like, because Mexico does have like a Haitian population. So I'm like, man, are there Haitian cooks here?
Okay.
Because there are Haitian restaurants in Tijuana, but
Hmm.
Chinese food, top of the line.
Hmm.
Um, you cannot go wrong with food in Mexico for the most part.
Okay. Cool, man.
Hmm.
Cool. Well, tell us about your channel, bro. Like, what people expect about your channel? Because I see a couple of your shows you got coming up. I know you be going in on them PUA coaches.
Yes. So I do a little bit of black pill content, basically telling guys to self-improve, where you don't need game or any type of manipulation when it comes to dating women. Travel vlogs. So throughout my channel, you will actually just see me vlogging the city. So I've done it with Ecuador, Guayaquil recently. I'm planning to go back out there this month, actually. I've done it with Mexico City, Culiacan, Los Cabos, and then also, let's see, travel blogs. Yeah, the roasting of the dating coaches as well.
You just say the dating
coaches. Yeah, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. Tomorrow I'll be breaking out a code approach. These guys went out to Miami recently, so I'm gonna break that down on my channel tomorrow. But basically the information that I'm gonna bring you on my channel is self-improve, travel, okay. And you're going to have a better result in your dating life with the passport. That's pretty much the basis of my channel.
Okay, cool. And I got a quick question here before we go about Mark Kane. He says, where do you find Afro-Mexican women?
Yeah, so that's going to be a little tough, to be honest with you, because the population of Afro-Mex is very, very small compared to like Colombia, as well as Ecuador. But if you want specifically Afro-Mex, you will have to go to Guerrero, which is the state where Acapulco is. Yeah, Guerrero. Okay. And there is a black Mexican town. I think it's like an hour south of Acapulco. When I went to Acapulco with my girl, I did see some black Mexican people there, but it's a small town, so it's not like nightlife and a lot of activities to do. But if you specifically want to go there and see that, you can see actual black Mexicans in Mexico.
Okay, because somebody they putting out Veracruz in the chat.
Yeah, Veracruz, they have morenos, so that's not black. That's indigenous Indian. So again, that it's more melanated out there. I've been to Veracruz, let's see, gosh, almost 5 times. I didn't really see a black Mexican out there. Now, granted, Veracruz has its own flavor. It's a lot of people say that it's very similar to like a Caribbean vibe, which it is, and they say that they're like a sister city of Havana. So it is like totally different from everywhere in Mexico. But the population, I still saw like white Mexican as well as Morenos there. I did not see black Mexicans in Veracruz for the most part. But it's an awesome town. I love Veracruz.
Okay, I got a super chat here by the Black Cleaner Restorer. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Are you familiar with Eternal Springs and Wellness Health Tourism in Mexico?
Oh, I really haven't done that. In terms of wellness and health, I did get in Mexico City last year. I got a colon cleansing in Mexico City. Yes.
Okay.
So I did do that. It was, decent price. So you can get that done in Mexico. I plan on getting my braces for my teeth in Mexico soon.
Okay.
And if you want therapeutic massages, okay, they have plenty of spas throughout Mexico, whatever city you desire.
Okay. Excellent. I got another super chat here by Terrence. $10 super chat, man. I appreciate that. He says, "What's your favorite places to visit in CDMX?"
Right. So I would say La Condesa area and Roma. Roma. Those are the two best. And then Rancho Santa Fe, but that's kind of like really out of Mexico City. It's about an hour away, but Rancho Santa Fe is like the Beverly Hills. Like you'll see Porsches, Ferraris. I mean, that place is happening. So those will be my three top destinations. I have two videos on my channel regarding Mexico City, so you can go check it out. I made one specifically regarding things to do in Mexico City during the day, and then also I have the nightlife in Mexico City as well.
Okay, excellent. I got another super chat here by Mark. I guess he maybe came in a little late, but $2 super chat says where to find and date Afro-Mexican women. I think we discussed that, but you can.
Yeah, so again, I gotta be honest, guys. There really isn't an Afro-Mexican population in Mexico. It's probably like less than 3%. So the women are majority fair skin, and then you do have the morenas there in Mexico. I think that's probably maybe 20% of the population, but Afro-Mex, it's going to be tough. But again, if you go to Guerrero, Acapulco, and I forgot the name of the town that's south of Acapulco, that's where you might find some Afro-Mex out there. But until then, I don't really want to recommend that until I actually go there and say, oh, yeah, here's the Afro-Mex, you know?
Okay. And do you have any other travel plans for any other countries in 2023?
Yeah, so besides going back to Ecuador, which is a great place, by the way, and if you guys like African Latinos, Ecuador is popping. Plenty of those type of women in Guayaquil. So I plan on going to Spain at the end of the year. That's going to be one. And then I'm going to try to possibly do maybe Asia, man.
Are you coming out here?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe in October, Thailand. Yes. I just need a whole week off. And the only reason why I go to Mexico often is because of my work schedule. Like I pretty much got a 9 to 5 where I have to be here. And Mexico is just convenient. Like I can fly out of Tijuana anywhere out of Mexico and be there within a few hours and come back that night, that Sunday night. And so where I'm going into work that Monday morning. So the flexibility is great for me in Mexico. The other plan I do have as well, I might go visit Barranquilla in July. So
okay, excellent. I love Barranquilla.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bob, $2 super chat. You can answer this, QB. Do you have to take the jab to travel?
No, not at all. We've been there, done that like long time ago. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, man, excellent show. Oh, let me catch this other super chat. They rolling in. Hold on.
Right. Yeah, here we go.
Mark Kane once again with a 5 super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, I'm planning to move into Veracruz, Mexico. What is your advice on starting a trucking company in Mexico?
Well, you got to be familiar with the trucking laws in Mexico. I'm not sure how much the truckers pay. I'm assuming maybe you might be bilingual in Mexico. But from what I know, that if you do like hauls from Mexico to the United States, they do pay a decent amount versus, going on the trucking routes throughout Mexico. So little expertise on that. Apologize, not in the trucking industry, but Veracruz is a great place. I do have a video on Veracruz that you guys can go check out. So not only I've been through Veracruz City, but I've been in Cordoba, as well as like a hidden beach in Mexico that was about 4 hours south of Veracruz. I drove there in a rental car at night. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little scared coming back, but it was safe. it was safe. I was in the countryside getting gas, and this random Mexican dude spoke English, and he was like, "Man, you don't have to worry about safety out here. Like, you're good." And he was a migrant worker. He worked in the farm in North Carolina, and ever since then, I'm just like, wow, okay, like it. This is true. Like, Mexico is safe, especially driving in certain destinations. Obviously, pay toll rolls. Okay, if you have to drive at night, make sure you go through a paid toll roll. Okay. Going through private roads, unfortunately, that's where the seamen and the narcos those are their destinations. But on a toll road, that's going to be safety.
Okay.
And you can do that at night in Mexico.
Excellent. Well, once again, man, appreciate you coming on the show. And also, man, because we had a little series back in the day. What was it? Stocks over thoughts?
Yeah, stocks over thoughts. Definitely. I think before closing out, if you don't mind me showing a little bit about Guadalajara, so guys can get a perspective.
Okay.
I got a few clips really quick, and I'm gonna upload this on my channel too, so you guys can really have a good assessment of Mexico. Yeah, you can go ahead and play this. I don't think there's any music on here either. So, all right, we're out here in Guadalajara. It is nice. How are you feeling, dog? Okay. That's the homie right there. El restaurante. Muy bien. Muy tranquilo. The weather here is very nice. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Man, you guys are missing out on Mexico, I can tell you that much. That's the Hyatt Regency Hotel. You want to see at the Hyatt is probably going to be about 100 a night, but you're right in the smack of Zapopan. All right. Okay. So, woof. They flexing out here. Woo. Yep. Okay. Yes. Right. They let you know, like, hey, we got money out here too. Oh yeah. Okay. Got the DJ going. For show. Yeah, so that was
okay.
That was Cuerno. One more little highlight before we bounce. So that area in Guadalajara was Zapopan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you guys go there, highly recommend visiting that destination. Really cool, no problems. Oh, this is the Airbnb really quick that I'm going to show right here. All right, I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour. This is the sauna. Okay. It's pretty nice, clean. All right. Got the nice pool, chill, relax, views of the city. I mean, it's definitely lit.
Nice.
So Popon, man.
Nice.
Oh. There we go.
There we go.
That was the nightclub. My girl, her friend, her other friend, like I said, popping out there. So I'll show you guys more later on the channel. The nightlife is great. The vibes are good. You guys get out there, man. Mexico is safe. Guadalajara is legit, fun, beautiful women. Like I said, they don't have the Afro Latinas. I will be honest. I'll put a disclaimer on that. And if you like the Morenas, Veracruz, even Mexico City got the Morenas out there. So that's it for me, fam.
All right, man. Well, once again, bro, appreciate you coming on.
All right. No doubt. No doubt.
Peace.